Good morning. This is Lucy. I did agree and send a message this morning, and all the way from some point last year, that I would record this video of my own experiences that I went through in 2018. Now, this story, as I said this morning in my post, is that I will, post it in a series of 15 videos. So today's video is an introduction of where it all started. And the story is about a Forex scam that I was deeply involved in. And I'm not ashamed, and I'm not, I don't blame anyone. I don't blame myself. I just feel it was one of those lives experiences for which I take absolute responsibility for everything that happened. Now, today's video is about an introduction, where it all started, how it started, and then it will keep unfolding until the 15th series that I will post as we go along. Now, what happened, this whole matter started somewhere around 2017. I have, as I posted somewhere else in one of the many things that I said I have done, I have ventured in very many things, and one of those things that I have ventured in is gold mining. So I used to mine gold, along with my nephew, who is my business partner. I used to mine gold in Kakamega. Now, we all know that 2017, when we were doing the elections, many things happened. We had to go through, a repeat presidential election. We had this NASA Jubilee politics. And our stay in Kakamega became very difficult. One, because of, the political situation in the country at that point, but also because the business wasn't doing well, and we were pumping in money, and we were not quite seeing the result. So somewhere around August of 2017, we began to feel, just before the elections, my nephew was, used to stay in Kakamega, and I would travel there, during the weekends, once in a while during the weekends, to just check out how things are going. So we agreed, because of the hostility and everything that was happening in the country just before the August elections, that my nephew needed to, to come out of Kakamega, and we look at the situation as it was happening. So he came out. But around that time, when we were still trying to think, personally, I was still trying to think, okay, so the business isn't doing well. What else can I do? And every time I travel to Kakamega, and I would travel to Kakamega with Easy Coach, those buses that are at Easy. I'm sure you all know Easy Coach. So I would travel in the night on Friday nights after work, and come back on Friday on Monday mornings, and come home, shower, and go to work as fresh as ever, even having traveled through the night. So anyway, in my escapade of traveling to Kakamega with the night buses, I have always known for a while that I have a purpose to inspire and to motivate people. So I kept wondering, what is the instrument of inspiration? What is the instrument of motivation? And while in Kakamega, that is how the Bahari concept was born. And so when we came out of Kakamega, it was time for me now to actually, take time and reflect and think about the Bahari and how I want to shape it and all that. So I decided, okay, fine, I will start, as everybody starts, when you're starting a business and when you're starting something to do, you begin with, okay, so how do I want to be identified? Oh, which logo? Oh, what website? And I met a gentleman. As I said elsewhere, I also engage in leadership opportunities in many fronts. So in one of those leadership opportunities, I asked somebody if they knew somebody who could do a website for me, and I was linked to some very present young gentleman, and we met with this guy somewhere at Java. And so the discussion with this gentleman was about the ideas that I have, the logo that I wanted to create for Bahari, and the preparation of the website, and all those things that have to do with branding. And when we were done with that conversation, I asked this young man, by the way, I have understood that social media is has its own powers. So I asked this guy, do you know somebody who could help me with social media promotion and all that for Bahari? And he said, yes, I can connect you to somebody. And I was given a contact of a lady called Anne. And when I was given this contact, I I went back. It was a Friday, so that Friday later in the day, I called this lady and we agreed to meet, to meet in her office. So on the appointed day, I went to her office and we spoke about the things that had taken me to her office, about Bahari, social media, and of course she told me about the videos that I need to shoot, all the things that I needed to do. And there was this thing that I had created that I was going to do, something I was calling a quick run, which was to come out somewhere in December of 2017. Then after we had finished the conversation about the things that I had gone to do, this lady tells me, oh, by the way, we have things that we do here in this office, and if you would like to, me to speak to you about them, then I can always speak to you. I said, yeah, fine. Oh, bring it on. Let me hear. I am that kind of a person who is always open to opportunities, because successful people and people who succeed in life succeed because they are open to opportunities. So anyway, I sat and listened, and in the end, I got to understand that they have a business on Forex trading. And I listened, and the business was called a quantum fund. So the idea was that, if you're interested in joining the fund, if you're interested in investing in the fund, you would then put in money and the money would grow. And by the way, the interest was superb. It was 37% over a period of 30 working days. So, who would go for, it was interesting and nice. So when we came out of Kakamega, I still had some funds left. I had some, at least, some savings. I went and chomoed my 1 million and quickly put it in the quantum fund. And when I put that money there, I actually told my nephew, my business partner, who is my nephew, I told him, by the way, this opportunity that, that was introduced to me, maybe we can go and you listen. And we went with my nephew, he listened, he asked questions, and even he put in some money. And so we were there saying, okay, fine, even if we are out of Kakamega and we are waiting for the situation to improve, at least there's something. Our money is not sitting idle somewhere. Our money is growing. So yeah, growth. And of course, when I get a good idea, I share with people. I shared I remember I did a share with one of my colleagues, but and she also went in and invested, and that was it. So anyway, the interesting and exciting interest of 37% was I kept thinking, and I kept making calculations of how my money was going to grow. And when you know that your money is going to grow, what do you want to do? You want to put in more. If something is growing and if something is going to give you, great things, you want a multiplication of that which can give you great things. So what happened is that I began to build the ideas of, yes, I have put in 1 million. Supposing I put another 1 million, what would happen? How would that growth would be phenomenal, and I can actually achieve the things that I have wanted to achieve. But before I actually didn't even have any more money, but I was prepared to actually even go for a bank facility to put in more money and be able to grow it. And for me, if I am investing and you're giving me 37%, even if I take a bank loan, it makes a lot of sense. If I am paying the bank about 15% per month, then you give me 37% game. It's great. I will put in the money. Now, but before I even went to that step of the bank loan and wanting to do the second round of investment, I called Anne and I asked her, Anne, by the way, before I am interested in putting me more money, but before I would like you to tell me and to connect me to somebody who has done an investment and who can actually speak about this investment more. Not necessarily you, because you are the owner you're the owner of the fund. Let me hear from somebody else who has done the investment. And so Anne gives me a contact of a guy called Robert. So I then get Robert. And we agreed to meet with Robert. We met at some point, some place in Adams Arcade, one of the Javas in Adams Arcade. So Robert was I think he was in his late 50s, so fairly mature gentleman. And we met and we spoke. And after we had done our speaking, and I was actually there in that conversation, trying to establish to what extent is this business okay? Is it real? Is it something he has invested in? Has he found benefit himself? Those testimonials that you look out for, or the references that you look out for. And so, I mean, he gave a good word, and he said, well, I am known to the directors. I can tell you that quantum is fine and everything will be okay. Please, don't have any qualms. Just invest because it will give you the money. And then our discussions veered off into, oh, okay, fine, what do you do? And he told me the things that he does. Oh, he's in business and all that. And then I told him, oh, by the way, for me, I and my nephew have been doing gold mining, and this was around September. So we August had come, the presidential elections had come and passed, and now the country was preparing for the second presidential elections in October. So of course the country was still in that situation of uncertainty. So the idea of going back to Kakamega wasn't even anywhere in our thoughts, because anyway, we were waiting for everything to cool down. And we were still in that space where we were thinking, the business is not working, so really, does it really still make sense for us to go back? But we had not come to a conclusion by then. So anyway, the conversation went into, oh, I do gold mining, and therefore I am, but we have stopped because of what is happening in the country. There's a lot of water in those maholes of ours, those shafts and everything, and the business is not working. So it's not making sense at this point. So we are there. And then he said, but why do you need to mine? I said, what else can somebody do if you're interested in gold? He said, no. You can, there are things called bullions, bullions. And for the first time, I had never had that word bullion, never mind that I had been in the gold sector. But I had, he introduced to me, he said, you can do bullions. You can buy and sell bullions. You don't need to mine. There are bullion votes. My goodness, bullion votes. I wondered, what is a bullion vote? And then I Googled and I thought, okay, fine. I know what a bullion vote now is. So anyway, he told me there are bullion votes in Singapore. There are bullion votes in London. There are bullion votes in New York. You can just sit in your computer, buy gold, sell gold when you're seated on your computer. Made a lot of sense. I mean, we had invested a lot of money in Kakamega, and surely if I can sit on my computer and just buy and sell, wait for when the gold is low, buy low, sell high. I mean, that is what business is about. Buy low, sell high, and yeah, you're in business. So anyway, I asked him, okay, can you give me more information? I said I have a very inquisitive mind, and I listen to opportunities. Successful people always open themselves to opportunities, and so that is what I believe. So anyway, I got this information, and I said, okay, fine, I would want to have more information. Can you give me more information about these bullions and how I would get involved and how I would get engaged? Remember, I still have my 1 million invested in Quantum Fund, and I am still growing and thinking about ideas of how to invest more, because of the promise that there's great money in this whole thing. So anyway, Robert tells me, oh, by the way, even me, I have just entered into this bullion thing. I'm not the one who does it. There's somebody else who I can introduce you to, who does, who is very good in those, in that bullion business. He will actually do it for you. He is great. He's a young man, and in fact, he's a director in this Quantum Fund. And he not only does he know issues about bullions, he is also very well conversed with the Forex trading, and that is why they have come together and put up this fund where you have invested. I have also invested money, and so I mean, he's a great guy. I said I would want to meet this great guy who knows how to do these things, and we agreed with Robert, and he actually gave me the contact of a gentleman. This gentleman was called George, and I was given the contacts, and I decided I was going to call George so that then I can understand more about the bullions. The meeting with George was for the purposes of understanding this bullion business and getting into it and just being able to diversify. I mean, we say we put our eggs in different places. Whatever hatches is what we get. So anyway, this part one was to give you a background and to help you see where this whole thing came from, and how I finally got conned, which got conned, and not only me getting conned, but I also helped others to get into this scam. So anyway, I wanted to stop there and to say, now next time when I come online, I will be talking about my meeting with George. for the first time, meeting with George and what happened and what transpired in our meeting with George. So today it was just about an introduction, how I got into quantum fund, how I got into this bullion thing on account of the fact that I had been doing gold mining in Kakamega. Now there are many lessons that I learned along the journey, and I will put that towards the end. I think at the last video I will put that the lessons that I have learned. But one most important thing is the fact that this whole thing, and you will come to realize as I narrate this story, you will come to realize that I was always, this thing at some point put me at the edge of the cliff. I would have just slipped and gotten into a huge cliff, but I chose not to. I chose to remain on this edge and to retreat back to the safe space. And it is always important that when you are on that edge, don't allow yourself to slip in. Don't allow yourself to go into the edge, to go into the cliff. Stay, retreat, get the power. You have the power within you. God has created us with huge power. That power is what helps you to retreat back and to get back to a level where you are safe. So anyway, friends, that is part one, the background, how it all started. Part two, which is going to come in next week, it will be my meeting with George. And then the story will keep unfolding. It will keep unfolding, and you will get to hear, a lot more things that happened along this journey. I leave you with that, and I am grateful that that we are connecting, and we will keep connecting, because this is an opportunity that God has given me to connect. And let me tell you, every experience that you go through in life, every experience that you go through, it is an experience that is meant to teach you, that is meant to help you become a better person, that is meant to help you. If you're on this industry like I am, it is meant to help you inspire others and to motivate others. But the most important thing is the choices that you make in life, the choices that you keep making. And by the way, failure does not mean that you're defeated. In fact, failure is called temporary defeat. Successful people call it temporary defeat. And that temporary defeat, therein lies important lessons of life, and it is up to you to pick out those important lessons of life and keep going. So as I always say, keep going, keep going. And because this Bahari page is meant to inspire you and to motivate you, I always say, and I have recorded that in some other videos, a Bahari woman has three important qualities. Three important qualities. There are many others, but three are important. The fact of you being a strong person. Strong person. Strength is our character number one. Is our quality, and if a thing that we cannot argue with anybody. It is our strength, and we draw a lot from that strength because God has created us with that strength. The quality number two is the depth of our mind, that regardless of what is going on in our lives, we can go into that mind and draw the power, because what we tell our mind is what we get. If we say we are failures, man, we are going to be failures. If we say we are strong and going strong and doing great things in life, we shall do great things, and that is what we shall get. So the quality number two is the depth of what it is that you're telling yourself. It is called auto-suggestion. What are you telling yourself? Number three is the vastness of the Bahari, vastness of the ocean, that you can dream big. There is no limit to the dreams that you can dream. So don't shoot yourself in the foot by dreaming little dreams. Dream big, because in any case, we are told, ask and it shall be given. Knock and the door shall be opened. And seek and you shall find. So you will continue to seek, you will continue to find that which you're seeking for. So I leave you with that, and I want to wish you a very lovely day, and we will keep connecting. In the meantime, as I said, I will keep posting the things that I will keep posting. I have lots of stories of my life, and I know for a fact that everybody in this world came in here for a purpose. My mind, my spirit, and my body is very connected to my purpose, and therefore, what is important is to understand why the hell God put you here. Why the hell are you here? I think once you unravel that, once you know why you're here, life becomes nice. And for me, I am clear, crystal clear, that I am here to inspire and to motivate. And I am here for women. I know men also benefit from what I say, and I'm happy that there are men who benefit from what I say and from what I give out there. But my inspiration is really in the world of women, because I am a woman. I have I experience women, and actually in this whole story of the Forex scam, actually a majority of our investors were women. Why? Because we want to grow. We want to, sometimes we're quite gullible, and all those things. But then in the midst of all that, we are still able to actually emerge and still emerge strong. And so that is what I am, and that is what I will continue to be. And I will remind you something very important. The greatest freedom is to allow people to think their thoughts, to say what they want to say, to feel what they want to feel, and to act in the way that they want to act. That's the greatest freedom. The greatest gift is your own well-being. So do everything possible to make sure that you are in alignment, you are in flow. Even when things don't work, even when things are so difficult, even when things are like, oh my goodness, things are really crumbling, you really must still find back your space, because you're created with power. And that power is what you have to always go back to, and do the things that are important in life, and continue to be joyful. Continue to have peace in your life. Even when there is lack of peace, find it. If you have to go to the caves, go there. Find that peace. If you have to go to the caves to find the harmony, go there. If there are times when you have to cry, cry it out. Cry it out, baby. Cry it out, girl. Cry it out. And once you're done your crying, man, you will come back, emerge with power. So I leave you with that, and I want to wish you a good day. I keep saying I wish you a good day. So now, final, I wish you a good day. And I love you. Thank you.